I think it's safe to say that the Mission Impossible franchise might just be the greatest action slash spy movie franchise ever made. I know the quality was a little bit inconsistent with the first three, but after Ghost Protocol, I think they have just all been bangers. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Josh. Today we're going to be talking about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. This is going to be a little bit of a shorter review. I'm really behind right now on watching films. Insidious and Joyride both came out last weekend. I still need to cover both of those. I was actually down in San Antonio for the Superhero Comic Con and Car Show last weekend, which is why I missed out on those. That's a good topic for a whole separate video. Point is, I was busy with that and work, so I wasn't able to keep up with schedule, but I'm planning to cover those movies later this weekend, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Now let's talk about this crazy movie starring Tom Cruise. This is part 1 of 2, so there's going to be Dead Reckoning Part 2. No idea when that's going to come out. Basically, in this one, there's this AI entity, super entity, that is capable of essentially infiltrating any global network. It can mess with truth, spread misinformation, and basically cause global chaos, which it sounds kind of cheesy, but really in today's day and age, with all of the talk about AI and the potential threats that may be involved with that, it actually is pretty relevant, and a lot of it surprisingly worked in this movie for me. Like, if I read that on paper, I'd probably be a little nervous going into this, but the movie actually handles it really well. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. This movie has all of the trademark things that make every other Mission Impossible movie great. There's fantastic action set pieces with a lot of stunt work and practical effects, courtesy of Tom Cruise, who does a lot of crazy things in this, as he always does. This time he's jumping off of cliffs on a motorbike, among many other things that I don't want to spoil. There's a lot of cool things in this that I didn't really know about. The movie has plenty of awesome gadgetry that is probably a little too unrealistic to exist in today's day and age, but it's just grounded enough that you can buy it. We have a device that essentially serves as the movie's MacGuffin. All the characters are after it. In this case, we have a key that essentially unlocks the controls to this artificial intelligence. And lastly, but perhaps most importantly, we have great characters. I'm not just here to see car chases and to see things explode. That's what the Fast and Furious franchise is for. No, I'm also here because Ethan Hunt is a great character. Benji, Luther, and Ilsa are also great characters with a lot of fun banter. There's a lot of humor in here, but it's also very grounded and gritty at times. Sure, a lot of the action in this movie is somewhat ridiculous and far-fetched, but the actors and the writing really sell it. Like, you feel that the characters are just so good at their jobs that you can actually buy them doing some of the crazy things that they do. I don't know if I've ever really stated this on this channel before, but I don't really care for Tom Cruise as a person, but I do really respect his commitment to the craft and making something that is so spectacular. Christopher McQuarrie deserves a lot of credit too. This is the 3rd MI film that he's directed, I believe, and he does a fantastic job with all the set pieces. Hayley Atwell is new in this movie as Grace. She's fantastic. I absolutely love the arc they gave her character. She's a pickpocket who runs into Ethan at a certain point when they're all, again, there's a lot of characters chasing after this MacGuffin device. Just fantastic. It's difficult when there's so many other great characters to get me to care about somebody new, and in this case, they just did a great job at that. The main villain here, played by Esai Morales, is probably my biggest nitpick. He just does a lot of the generic villain monologuing, and it just didn't really stand out to me. It felt a little bit wooden at times. Also, he has a history with Ethan Hunt, and we only really scratched the surface of that. I guess that's a risk you take when you split your film into 2 parts, because I don't really know that this movie is at fault for not giving us more backstory on him, because maybe part 2 will clear things up really quickly. But for the most part, I would say they do a good job of wrapping up this film without making it feel like it's just there to bait you into coming in to see the next one. There is some closure. I just wish that we get a little bit more on the villain side of things. In the end, this movie is an absolute crowd pleaser. It's action spectacle of the highest order with great characters, some great emotion, and I surprisingly didn't feel the 2.5-hour runtime very much. Go check it out if you get a chance, guys. It's one of the best of the year. I'm gonna give this movie 4.5 out of 5 stars. So there you have it. Those are my thoughts on Dead Reckoning Part 1. Be sure to stay tuned for my reviews of Insidious, The Red Door, and Joyride, which will be coming soon. Thanks for checking out this video as always, and I'll see you guys in the next one.